Hello? Testing the audio. Testing. Hello? 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 Alright guys, I'm not sure what's going on with this. I'm not getting any audio whatsoever, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to just check a few other things. I think we might just have an issue with the audio settings itself. Here we go. Audio input capture. Boom. Okay. Hello? Testing. Testing. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that. I had some audio issues on my end because the mic was connecting to the Discord server. So that's up and running and we should be good to go. And in today's stream, we're just going to do some custom emotes for the Discord server. So it's been picking up. People have been having a lot of fun on there. I've been having a lot of fun on there. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just wanted to give a mini shout out as well to some other really awesome things that have happened recently. Had some great donations going on. That was a test widget on the donations. But yeah, just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that have been happening, which is super awesome. I had quite a few different donations over the last couple streams, and with that money, I was actually able to invest that back into the streams themselves. And one of the stream upgrades that I'm working on right now is actually to purchase a new camera. And what I use with the current money that has come in from the streams and sales from the website, I actually pumped it into the Discord server to allow you guys to have a little bit more creative opportunity on there to really share your own stuff and communicate a little bit easier on the stream. So that is now up and running. I'm just setting up right now. We're going to be drawing different emotes. So if you guys have suggestions, you can actually throw them in the chat, which is kind of awesome. I'm excited to see what you guys would like as emotes. And these will be available on Twitch and also on my Discord server. And if you are a Discord subscriber, which is not like my service, but a subscriber to Discord in general, you actually can utilize a lot of the different like emotes and stuff from all the servers you're on across platforms. So that's pretty awesome. I really like that a lot. So I'm grabbing the iPad right now, getting set up. Don't have the fancy lights on today. I just haven't had time to really plan things out, but I do know I want to do emotes. And I started doing some the other day, just having fun with it, but didn't really have a plan of what I was going to make. So some of the emotes that I already made, I made this little sad heart drawing that's kind of fun. And I made this with a couple different layers you can see here. So these aren't flattened yet, but there's no background. And I'm just working with a temporary gray background so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to start filling in on these layers. Now I'm saving them all out on this one file just so I have them. And I can actually export them out as the proper type of PNG file. And then I can kind of go from there. So I'm just going to film the back of these eyes really quick. And now this is what's going to pop up when people want to have like a little sad heart. They can have this image pop up next to their text. I'm going to do like a happy one as well. Made, what else did I make? I made a few of them that I thought were kind of funny. That's usually what I want to do with these. I was working on like a little boomer one for Bomb. And then I made a metal one, which I think is the funniest one so far. So like a black metal one, which is, I think that's hilarious. So we're going to go through some of the lists and other emote options right now as well. There's not too many, but there are some. And some kind of general planning from what I looked up. There's a few things that you can do. So that's like going to be my main focus, is figuring out what we can and can't do with the emotes. I know there's some limitations because of the size of them, so we're gonna kind of see what we can do. Now I just got my mouse connected to my computer, so I'm just activating my what is it, like the Apple Touchpad really quickly, just so I have it. So give me just a second. I'm gonna be right back just to go into my settings. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So just had to fix a few things. Everything looks pretty good right now, and should be pretty easy to do. Just had to adjust some live stream settings and kind of check some of the feedback. So I think we're getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not quite sure, but looks doesn't sound too terrible. If it starts to become a problem for people, let me know. This way I should be able to hear all like the different pings and sounds when you guys interact in the chat. We've got no one viewing right now. We've been on 15 minutes, so this is sorry about all of that. Let's get into it though. I think we're gonna do a couple other things in the stream tonight as far as like emotes go. We're just gonna fill in the back of this head. So to make this, I'm going to show you guys really quickly how I did this. It's pretty easy to do. So up here in my little tab, I have all these layers separated, and they're all separated for different types of stylings and whatnot. And to do that, you can kind of see how I made this head from start to finish. I used a template brush from the Tattoo Supply, like one of their brush sets. I always forget the name of the company. I'll try to like find it afterwards and put it in the description. But yeah, so they have these stamp brushes, and the brush set is called Great Head. It's really funny, I know. But basically, on all the brushes, for this brush set, they have all these common placement areas to quickly place an element down that you can draw on top of, just to speed up your workflow if you're a tattoo artist. And they're also really helpful if you want to make different emotes with a slightly more realistic facial structure really quickly. And that's what we're doing today. So we got this 3/4 view here from one side, and we're just kind of having fun with it. So I grabbed one of those, then I made a new layer on top of it and started sketching it. So the first thing I did was I sketched this rough sketch of some paint there. So that's some like the corpse paint look. We'll zoom in really quickly. You can kind of see this was the rough sketch. This was the idea, concept of it. I then added the inking on top, removed the sketch, and then used the head for some more proportions. And I thought that was kind of lacking a little bit. So then I actually added the white. And I know this is going to be cut out as a cutout object. I thought that really wasn't that much either. People might not get the reference. So then I added the white down here, kind of to bring them together. So merge those two. And now when you look at it, you have with these empty spots, you can just grab your favorite brush. I'm just going to use a simple inking studio pen brush and just fill in these gaps really quick that I kind of missed. I think this is the first time I've done a live stream on a Sunday, so I'm not really sure what to expect. No one's shown up yet. It's been a pretty slow going stream, but hopefully it picks up, people join. Okay, so now we have the face piece there. It still looks kind of like a mask, and I'm not really into it. And so one of my friends that I was with while I was trying this the first time said it looked like an ICP character. So immediately I was pretty bummed. So I wanted to make sure that it didn't really give off the Juggalo and Juggalette vibes. So what you can do for that is you can add some gross, greasy hair, which might still feel more Juggalo, Juggalette vibes. But we're trying to be optimistic here. We're hoping that that's not the case. Now I drew this hair really loose with the intention to add white behind it to kind of work as with the concept of like highlights and stuff. In some areas it works, some areas it doesn't. So we're going to just experiment a little bit and see what works and what doesn't work. Sorry, let me make sure there's no notifications happening right now. Oh, that doesn't work either. Sorry about that, guys. This is why I need to get some other options for when I'm working on different things, because I'll run into issues quite frequently where I do the screen mirroring and I can't turn off certain notifications, so that's really frustrating. So sorry about that, guys. I'm really sorry. There we go. Should be good to go. Yeah, so that happens every once in a while where I'll start doing something and there will be like a notification from Discord on a few of the Discord servers I'm on, and there's just really no way for me to control all that. So sorry about it. Yeah, so all the 1000 server notifications are going to keep coming up, and I'm on 1000 server. He is a super active one. So if that gets to the point where it's really annoying, let me know and I will try to find a way to turn that off. I'll have to like go on pause for a second. Okay, so we got some people finally on the stream. What's up, guys? Welcome. Tonight we're going to be drawing some custom emotes for my Discord server and Twitch stream that I'm going to eventually start. Don't worry, dude. I got the Kappa drawing coming up. That's planned for Thursday, so I did the research on that one. But figured tonight would just be like a fun stream where I get to do some custom emotes on there. I talked about earlier in the video when I started the stream about how I took some of the donation money that I recently received and actually was using it to upgrade the stream itself. So I added more premium features on the Discord server as far as like sharing music goes, and adding more premium service bots to make like a ranking system, which by the way, you ranked up, so you made it to the first rank on the server. So congratulations to you. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm going to turn this off just to see what we're working with. Now we got this giant mess of just scribbles because I was scribbling where all the white was. I'm going to clean this up just because personally I don't like how that looks. I don't think it's a clean look. So we're going to follow just these edges here, and then we'll work with a bigger brush. So if you guys have suggestions for emotes that you want to see on the Discord server, or you think would just be like kind of funny in general to draw, we can do those tonight. I'm working on this metal emote right now, so I'm using a black metal corpse paint inspiration for when something's metal. I'm going to try to stream both. I still haven't figured out Twitch yet. I'm not sure that I will very quickly, and I don't have the optimal setup to work with Twitch right now. I don't have like a proper setup for that, so I don't know how I'll be able to do that just yet. But hopefully it's something I'll be able to figure out, and we can kind of like work on all the different things like that together. So if anyone has some Twitch advice for streaming for artists, hit me up. I don't know what I'm doing on there. I've looked into it a little bit, and there's just so much crap to do. So YouTube for now. Eventually I will be doing both, and I think there is a way now to simultaneously stream from both platforms. At least I know there's with YouTube and Facebook through Streamlabs. So that's what I'm using for my like OBS type software. And we're getting closer to all the subscriber goals, so I'm super excited about that. I was a little nervous I wasn't going to kind of jinx myself, but we jumped up a decent amount on the channel, so that's a huge plus, and I'm really pumped. We're getting really close to the goal, so I have the goal set by next week to see if we can make it to 600 on the channel. We're at 563. Hopefully, hopefully it works out. I got a few other things I'm gonna be filming as well. I just got like a new desk in, and I'm waiting for the top to get here. So I just literally filmed a studio tour video, and I'm going to be filming another one that's actually planned out and not all running gun shots like they have been recently. All right, so we get the first layer set up. You got the corpse paint face, the gross greasy hair. Looks pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. Personally, I thought it was like, I say the word metal all the time as a joke when I'm describing things that are intense. So that definitely had to be on there. I'm going to look up a list of other emotes right now and see if we can kind of come up with some fun ones together. Let's see. Thinking, I mean, there's probably going to be some like funny random meme ones that I want to do. There's like hand emotes I want to do. Maybe I'll do like a burrito emote. That would be pretty solid. I'll have to get a cut out of my face. Apparently that's just like a thing YouTubers must do. So let's see. I think the next one, I'll do like a little like fire one. That's like a common one people are always saying on my channels and shit. So yeah, we got the black metal one. We have the sad heart emote, which is I did these already off stream. So we're gonna start with another one. I think we're gonna do a flame one right now for fire. We'll start on a new layer and just start sketching it out. And if you guys have any suggestions for emotes, put them down in the chat. What's up, dude? What's going on? So yeah, we're gonna do some sketches on all the emote stuff. Oh, keyboard lost connection. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to keep messing up. Yeah, so we're looking just for emote suggestions. If you guys have any, I think the funnier the better, and try to keep it as family friendly as I can for as long as possible before we can do some other wild ones. Just because the YouTube audience. All right, so I think I'm gonna do some fire right now. That's like a common, super common emote that everyone uses all the time to describe things. So if you guys aren't familiar with what emotes are, they're just reactionary images like emojis that you can use on different types of services and streaming as like keyboard alternates. It's like kind of the fastest and most complicated way to describe it, but they're pretty pictures that let you express your feelings. It's all roster based inside of Procreate, which if you're coming from a workflow of working in Illustrator, it's a little difficult, but because the images are so small that we're going to be using to create these, I'm not as worried about it. I think there's like a few allowances when you start doing more digital work where you'll realize that maybe vector isn't always the greatest thing. I can't even say that with a straight face because vector is the greatest thing, but it is all roster based at the moment with Procreate. But they are working, I believe, with some other programs that do a really nice integration of both. If you need that sort of workflow for creating digital assets, I know there's a few other apps that are out there. The names are escaping me at the moment. I do really good vector work because currently the Adobe equivalents are not meeting my standards. Wish they would, but the watered down version of Photoshop not using the same hotkeys as the main program, that was almost a deal breaker and so frustrating enough where I didn't even want to use it. I downloaded it because I have a Creative Cloud subscription for like my professional design and illustration work. So I'm like, oh, it's sick, Adobe Fresco. I can't wait to use this. And then all the shortcuts are different, or at least they were in the beginning. And I was like, why? Yep. So if I'm doing something for a T-shirt and I'm using Procreate, I'll typically take it into Photoshop afterwards or Illustrator, depending on the style of the graphic. And if it's a very graphic look that's not going to use halftone imaging, which is another process I'll either do in Photoshop or Illustrator, depending on the detail. That's what I'll do is I'll transfer it to one of those programs to help with my workflow. But all the layers and stuff, you can export these out as different file types. So you can actually export them out as a Photoshop document or just like a ping, and you'll be all good. And it keeps all the layer information if you do the PSD document, which is amazing. I think I got to add a little face to this fire guy. Oh, he looks mad. We don't want mad fire. That's not too bad. It's kind of funny. All right, so we're just going to ink on. We're going to throw some quick layers on here. And then if you guys, like I said, if you have any other suggestions for emotes, let me know because these are going to be used on the Discord. I definitely would love more user feedback for that sort of stuff. You know what? I'm thinking actually maybe I'll use a pixel brush. See if these work on here. Just give it a go. I think the file might have too high resolution. Yeah, the resolution's too high. There's not a free version that I know, but the software has become a lot more user interface friendly than what is currently available. The halftone detailing, if you're trying to get photorealistic stuff where you need to reproduce a photograph for screen printing application, Accurate is still the best software, but to be honest with you, there's very few instances that looks good where you need a full colored half toned out image. I don't think there's really many moments where it works really well, where you can actually get by with just using a simplistic halftone representation. using like 2 or 3 colors, or even using non-CYMK and premixed colors to illustrate your image. I personally think as like an aesthetic choice, it looks a little bit cleaner doing that than actually going for like the actual properly halftone ripped like photo-esque type shit. I don't know. It's all a lot of personal preference, but for me, that's what I would typically go with. I would just use the halftone bitmapping features that are in either program if I needed that effect. And for me, when I'm doing the halftone stuff nowadays, it's more so an aesthetic choice versus a necessity to print the image. But what you'd be looking for would most likely be under the bitmapping section in either program. And what that does is actually it turns your images into essentially like a halftone or like a bitmap using fragmented pieces of an image or like of a density of color to create all the like shadows, midtones, and highlights using a singular color, usually just in black. And that on its own actually does a pretty good job. AccuRip is more so for your printer. It's an application for your printer to basically understand what you're trying to create. So it's all just kind of preference, really. There's also like a ton of really great brushes out there that will give you that effect. And one of the bigger companies is True Grit Texture Supply and Retro Supply. Those are really big companies that make Photoshop and Illustrator, Procreate, brush packs, and sets. I do highly recommend checking them out. They make some of the best. They make things that are, of the highest quality. I personally prefer the True Grit stuff over the Retro Supply stuff. It's confusing. Their names are similar. I just find that I have more, like my work itself and the aesthetic of my work typically looks better with those brush sets, and I'll actually use some of those tonight. So if you guys want to see some, I have pretty much the entire library at this point. I've been using them for a long time in my work, and they are an asset that I think is worth supporting. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I think they're worth supporting because the quality of their brushes is so damn amazing that I have zero problem like shouting that out, because I do use their stuff all the time, and it definitely creates a really, I don't know, like a great feel to my work. At least I think it looks great. I think it's a very handy tool when you're first starting out. All right, I'll give you guys another quick little tip here. So when you're doing eyes on like a little character, you want to repeat them quickly in Procreate. You can actually, there's a copy and paste feature, which I forgot to do, but Command copy. Oh, wrong keyboard. If you have the keyboard out, you can do those shortcuts. I forgot to do that. So grab the selection tool again. There's a copy and paste button. You hit the copy and paste. It will actually paste it onto. Did that not work? That didn't work. What it should do is it should copy and paste it onto a new layer. Granted that you're on the right layer. Yeah. Oh no, it did. It did work. Okay. And you can just hold that down and drag it over. So that's one way you can do that. Then you just merge the layers if you want to keep them to create the same shape. Draw the mouth really quickly, and then we'll fill it in. This brush I'm using is also from another brush pack kit that I ordered when I first got the iPad. This is a Tattoo Supply. They all have like supply in the name for some reason. I think that they're all, hell, even my original clothing brand had supply in the name. I think it's just a standard thing when people want to make multiple kinds of products under one name. So got the basic shapes here. Looks pretty good. I'm just going to use the drag and fill color option, and then we'll go by with the eraser and we'll cut back and make some of these points a little bit sharper, fix some of the mistakes. Now you also got to remember these images are going to be incredibly small, and they're going to typically upload at like a 72 or like maybe a little bit more for resolution. I typically upload my stuff the highest rate, but they're not going to be super crisp all the time. So it's okay to have a little mistake here and there. You should. I'm having fun with art streams. You guys have been great. It's also an awesome way to learn. I think it would be awesome to even share some of the stuff. Like on the Discord server, I made a section for you guys to share your own art, your own work, your own YouTube videos, all that stuff you guys can share there. I mean, like, I don't want it to be like Spamville or anything, but I don't mind if you guys share work on that channel. That's why I made it. So everyone can kind of meet each other and learn from each other. So want it to be a great creative resource for all kinds of artists. And as it picks up too, I'm going to be hopefully able to add more features and make it even better. All the money that's been collected so far has actually gone directly back into making the streams a nicer quality. And the next big thing for me is going to be hopefully investing in a slightly nicer camera for just the regular YouTube content, not just the live streams. It will be used in the live streams as well. But the main focus is to help improve the other regular tutorial content that is a little bit easier for some people to watch, that's curated and doesn't take like 6 hours to explain. It just takes, a 5 to 10 minute video. All right, so you got the basic shape of the fire. It looks pretty good. We're going to use another feature that I used in the last one. This is the reference layer. So anything that's inside here we can use as a reference layer. I just was using the white. It was a little bit easier to work with. Now there's two options. If we do as a reference layer when we're coloring, it'll fall within that layer. Or we can use an alpha lock layer. And if we did the alpha lock layer, what it would allow us to do would be to color inside and create all those interesting shades and highlights you see in those really heavily textured drawings. So you hit alpha lock, pick another color you want to shade with, and then pick a textured brush like let's see, use this rusty nib brush. And go on the side here. Let's see how I can color through it and it doesn't go outside of the shape. That's what the alpha lock does. So it locks all your color and shading inside of one shape. And it's really useful if you're trying to create something with a very specific look. Now what you can do that's not as destructive is you can, you can actually go up onto another layer, get rid of the alpha lock, and then create a reference layer like we had been doing before. And that will help a little bit with what we're trying to do. So get rid of the alpha lock, go down to reference, the layer above it, and you should be able to create one. Dude, a Yawning emote, that's that's gotta happen. That one, I need a burrito one for sure. But yeah, Yawning emote, that's the next one. Hell yeah. And then I'm gonna make a tier 2 on the Discord once you guys level up. So I have right now the activity leveling on Discord where you can actually level up to different things and different I don't know what the hell they call them on Discord. It's escaping me right now. But essentially you can have different roles on the server, and when everyone starts to remember, after you've posted enough content and been active on the server, you'll reach the first new role or tier, which is that's the new blood tier. The next one I think I have as pack member. It's like at level 10 and so on. But once there's a point where people reach in the hundreds or like the level 100, I'm going to make a custom emote of that person or their icon on the Discord. Because at that point you'll probably be talking with enough people they'll know who you are, and you deserve your own emote at that point. Throwing stuff. But yeah, no, the Yawn one, that's the next one for sure. Getting all the Discord pings on here. I'll keep that open too, so you guys can check that out. or I can communicate with you guys on there at the same time. I need another monitor. That's really the big thing I've been putting off. But I use an iMac, so it's kind of a weird thing to set up on a desk. All right, looking pretty good. Sick. All right, so we're gonna do the fire really quickly. I totally spaced on why I was using the reference layer. I think I need to sketch on top. We'll do that first, and then I'll use a different type of reference layer, or like a mask, so you guys can see that. Yeah, I know the second monitor would be a little bit easier. I'd like to just get like a vertical one so I can have like all the stats and whatnot positioned. But I have my Cintiq, which can work as a monitor, but I'm using the stand right now to draw on the iPad. It's just a little bit easier. Maybe I'll have to, I don't know, at some point, if the streams keep going and merch keeps selling and stuff, everything's just getting pumped back into the channel for now. So we'll get there. We'll get there. You also have the largest donation title, which I don't know why it's not showing here, but it should have it like right here. So I'm working to figure that out with Streamlabs, so everyone gets like their little like tags and stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's a couple of things like OfferUp that are local in my city where people are always just giving away stuff even for free. So that's going to be my first move, is like looking for a monitor and getting all that ready to go, making sure like the desk functions. But the new desk will finally be hopefully here like tomorrow. Like, the legs are here. So I invested in before the quarantine, I invested in a new desk because I really need one. And if you guys saw like my last setup tour, you probably saw that my desk is basically a U shape, and it's not really good height for how tall I am. So it's pretty uncomfortable. I've been working with it for like 5 years, and I was like, fuck this, I'm getting a new desk. It's gonna happen. And then all of a sudden the lockdown really kind of took effect, and all the shipments got delayed. I did. So I made really, really tiny resin boomers, and they sold out actually really quickly. And then one of the next batch I did was actually for 5 Points Fest, the first year of 5 Points Fest, and I couldn't get a table or anything. I was really small in the toy world at that point. I'm still really small in the toy world, but I was non-existent in the toy world, basically, in the public community of toys. So I made them. I couldn't get a table, and I didn't want to like piss off the people at 5 Points that run it. So I decided to give them away for free. So I actually took all the stuff I did and like all the months of mold making and all the expense. I just ate the cost completely just to kind of get the toy out there. And actually, that's when I met Quicks for the first time, and I actually gave him one. So that was kind of awesome. I have a photo of him holding it. But I think there's some photos of those on Instagram. It's all black bag packaging. The toys were cast in black resin and then spray painted again with like an additional, or airbrush with like a nice flat black paint. And then I did paint splatter, so each one was custom. I made like 10 of those, and that was it. And then I kind of took a hiatus, made a few more, ran into some financial strain trying to do that because I just kept giving my stuff away for free. I just wanted it to get out there and kind of just keep making stuff for fun. But eventually, the character kind of picked up some popularity. I got an offer from a company to make me toys, and then the Kickstarter started, and now I'm here. So that was kind of how I started with like the boomer stuff. But all the other things, like I made a couple of different resin toys before I did that. Yeah, the new desk is going to be a huge upgrade. I'm going to be filming that whole process with actual planned out shots this time. If I can find the molds for a little one that's actually like intact and not warped, I'll try to cast you one, or I'll send you the mold and you can cast yourself as many as you want. I don't have like the resources at the moment to get too deep into casting again, but the molds were heavily damaged from my move, and that's kind of why I stopped for a while. But if I can find them, man, I'd send you the mold. Hell, we could do like another collab run, and I'd be definitely down to do that. That'd be fun. I think just like making stuff to make stuff, you know, that's really what it was all about when I started doing toy stuff. Like even now, I'm selling my toys at cost. So that's kind of like my like I'm not in it to really make money. It would be nice to, but right now my main focus is actually just kind of getting stable enough to where I can make newer things and things like that. But yeah, we'll see. If we do a run, maybe we could do like a little collab and you get all your expenses covered and paid. That would be like the biggest thing for sure. And then if I were to do anything else or make any money on it, all I'd want to do is be able to just pump it back into the channel, really. Anything just to make the streams more fun and just like the overall channels more fun. And I actually started making some Wolf Pits merch because people have been telling me that's something I should do as a content creator. So I don't know if I should. I already make merch under the Wolf Pits brand. Alien emote, yes. I actually want to talk to Austin Robinson about it because his little logo is an alien. I figured we're pretty good homies at this point. He might be the first one to get an emote just because it fits really well with all that. But yeah, an alien emote. I'm going to write these down because I'm going to forget. All right, so we got a yawning emote because I always yawn on every single stream. And then an alien emote because that's just perfect. I think I'll make my own first, and then maybe if I talk to Austin and he thinks it's funny, I can make him one. All right. No seltzer today. Back to juices. All right, so this is looking pretty good so far. It's a little, I don't know, it's kind of boring. I'm just using the white as like a reference for when I'll replace the color once I get the lines where I want them and the shapes and paths the way I want them. Looks pretty good so far. Yeah, another monitor would be also really great so I can pull up proper references because I have the Streamlabs open on like a little tiny window, and then I have the Discord also open on this other window, so I have to keep going back and forth. It doesn't matter when we would use it, but the fact that it's there, people will find a way to use it. But that's a pretty good one. I could do like a pair of snake eyes or something, some sevens maybe. It's all up in the air. I think I have like 50 slots or something like that, 50 slots or spots that I can put emotes in. That's the case. I don't know if I'll come up with enough, so we can we can definitely come up with some weird ones for sure. If it's a good time and people think it's funny, I'm all about that. Slot machine, that one might be a good call. I do plan to do some like raffle stuff in the future, and maybe that would be a fun way to do it. Maybe there's like an app or something I can find that lets people play games like that, and I can actually use prizes. That would be sweet. If I can make like a Wolf Pit slot machine game for like giveaways. Oh yeah, skate deck broken. That's gonna happen. Well, I was thinking about doing a wheel with a flat spot, but I don't think anyone would get the reference. It's like, that sucks kind of thing. But yeah, broken skateboard. That's got to definitely go on there. Slot machine, broken skateboard. And then I'm planning to do a set of skeleton hands and like devil hands for all the hand gesture stuff. And then I want to make a skate stopper one. So it's like the little like metal L bracket that cities put on ledges. So when someone's being a jerk, they can get the skate stopper bracket to like calm down. Right, right. All right, sorry. Let me get on the flame guy. Let's get into it. Sorry, I'm getting pumped about all these suggestions. I should have did like a questionnaire or something on the Discord. I did one on Instagram and no one responded. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna delete this. This is dumb. What am I doing? All right, turn this layer off. Turn the sketch off. I'm just gonna select all these spots real quick with the automatic. So we're just using that to not that one. So one thing I don't like about the selection tool in Procreate as well, it sucks. It's not like the best. Not the nicest tool I've ever had to use. Doesn't always work. It's still like a primitive version of like Photoshop or something. Slightly more advanced than GIMP in my opinion, minus the vector part, but it doesn't have all the things yet. And every time they do an update, it does seem to get a lot better than it was. So I'm optimistic they'll figure it out. Sorry for all the zooming in and stuff too. If that gets really annoying, I'll try to not do that. I just do that whenever I'm cleaning up details of anything. Bad habit. No, don't worry about it. I have the Discord notifications turned on, and I'm on a few servers, so I need to turn them off at this point because almost every 10 minutes I'm getting hit up with something. I'm on a few pretty active Discords now. So I joined 1000's Discord. He's another he's a pretty famous YouTuber at this point. Does like a lot of mural stuff, but that's where I actually got the idea. Other than like the suggestions after people suggested doing Discord, I was like, yep. I don't know what it's about. Went on his and I was like, hell yeah, this is pretty sick. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. And I'm going to keep the Discord server free for the first month. So anyone that joins the channel in the first month or before I make it to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, it's going to just be free for people to join. And then after that, it's going to be like a Patreon tier for like $1. You pay once and then you have access to it forever, kind of thing. Just because I don't know what to do for Patreon, and I think that's like a pretty fair thing if people are having a good time on the Discord server. I don't know. I always feel weird charging for anything really, but I know I need to. Yeah, I never really did the chat room thing growing up. I didn't have access to internet for a long time. Not until I was like 15 or 16 years old, and all my friends at that point had been doing that whole chat room life forever. So invest in Wolf Pit stock. Yes, that's what I need. I need to go public as a brand. Get a bailout. I don't know. I definitely want to do more merch stuff, and I actually might make just like a kind of more all-purpose design brand thing where I get to make fun things that aren't necessarily just Wolfpit's branded things. Oh, it's not a hyperlink. Well, that's actually YouTube's fault because I don't have enough subscribers to monetize a website link. So that's why. But once I reach the goal and the requirements, it will turn into an active link. It's just there as a placeholder. So unfortunately, I can't do that. But I can do it in the chat. So I can actually post inside of super chat. I can post links to things. So that's something that I should do in the beginning of the streams. I posted like a link to the Discord in the stream for people that are just joining for the first time, and then a few other ones. Yeah, everything else but the store link is the one that doesn't work. It's really hard unless it's a known like affiliate thing with YouTube. They don't let you put the links in there active until you or at a monetization point on the platform, which I'm not there yet. But that's like why I want to try to get to the 1,000 subscriber goal mark as soon as possible. But it's just so I can kind of have the website there, make it easier. Yeah, yours works. Damn, I don't know. I need to go back and like see what the deal is because mine does not work. I don't know. I don't have it like set up as like a business account or anything, but for a while it was not working when I would have my website linked. So Patreon would work and other like affiliate links would work. Affiliated brand things would like work if I or services, not brands. Those all work fine, but anything else didn't work for me. Oh, maybe that's probably my bad then. I probably just messed up. Let me let me fix that because that's really ridiculous. I can't believe I did that. This is an ASMR stream now. Only gonna do keyboard sounds. Let's see, I don't know if it'll let me actually edit the description now that I'm in the video. It might. It might. It might. It might not actually. Let's see. No, I don't think it will actually. Damn. Yeah, all the other links are working. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm over the 500 mark, so maybe that's why. But the website isn't even in here. Now, what am I doing? Oh, there it is. Fast on, midstream edits. Stuff to look forward to on the high quality content I'm producing here. Okay, let's just check real quick. All right, so it's not going to let me edit during the stream, but I will put it in the chat, which people can see also in the future if they wish. There it is. All right, back to the back to the regular stream. Okay. All right, sorry about that. No, dude, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I thank you for even sharing that. I didn't even notice. I'm completely oblivious. I was like, wait, what? What did I do? Something weird. All right, so we got some flame details. Let's turn this white to a red that I want to use. I want to use a darker red. Most of my color palette is typically a darker tone. Use a clipping mask to color this just to make it easier. This orange is real intense and I don't like it, so we're going to scale the orange down. I think the orange looks a little whack. We'll make it kind of weird. I'm going to draw eyes over it. And I'll pull it in a little bit. Let's warp it just a bit. Just so it has kind of a little bit more playfulness to it, I guess. If that makes any sense. And I'll cut that back. This is also a really great way to get different stylized looks and versions of characters I use this technique all the time currently in Photoshop, but in Procreate it's actually really fun just because of how intuitive the app is, as I've talked about before. It's just a really nice, easy thing to do to get a more interesting look right away. All right, that doesn't look too bad. And then there's typically like a yellow, but I'm going to stick with this color for now and just flesh this out a bit more. Merge those, get rid of these old sketches that I don't need anymore. And then I'm going to do one more layer on top, that'll be the yellow, and then I'll do a blending, and then I'll throw the eyeballs on there. We'll make it cute and fun. Do a brighter yellow. So orange is not bad. Me. Oop, wrong layer. This one. All right, that's that color. Let's do like another like golden yellow. How's that look? Yeah, that looks good on there. I think that's the color choice for sure. Yeah, and of course for the like the bomb emote, I'm gonna just use Boomer. I already have a bunch of images of him, so I'm just gonna upload one of like the sticker graphics for that, and I have it in a ton of colors. So I just might make a few options, and then I want to do a couple other ones. I don't want to do money bags because I think that one's gonna kind of, I don't know, it's not as fun. I feel like I want like another fictional currency on the Discord. So I might come up with something, or I might just use like some nerd shit and do like Zelda rupees or something. Yeah, that was like the first one I knew I wanted to do was doing a boomer. I'm like, I have to do that one. It's just like that one. He's just too perfect for it. So I might just do his head or something without the legs and the arms, like the main body of him. But he's definitely going to be happening for sure. Yeah, I got to make like a guide, right? Like a this means this means that. Oh yeah, that would be another one too. Actually, that dead pin graphic would be another sick one. I have that in a few different color options too, so I can get it a little bit more simplified for people that might not know what Love Park was. And then I need to also make some other options for future moderators and stuff on there. So that's something I'm still kind of figuring out, but I might make some emotes that they can use as tags if something that shouldn't be on the server pops up, or like we start getting hit with like a weird spammer or some creep. So I'll have to figure out what that is. Maybe make it like a little less obvious, but maybe like an emote where people can that have been on the server that know, like if someone's being a jerk or like disrespectful, they can get the boot from one of the moderators. But I haven't experienced that so much on any of the servers yet. Like I haven't heard of too many people running into issues. I don't have a game like channel or anything, so I think that's why. Where it's like a bunch of people have video game servers have to deal with like a lot of trolls. I think just like creative ones, people are there to have fun. So So I'm going to texturize these colors and create different blends on them just to get rid of some of the sharpness. And I'm just going to use a few of like the texture brushes I have and just have fun with it. I'm not going to think too heavily about it. So I'm probably going to use the eraser tool actually to soften these edges, and I'm just going to fill them with color quickly, and then I can start moving on to some of the other ones. I don't want all the emojis to and like emote stuff to look super plastic like they typically do, and we'll kind of just see what happens. We're going to try the alpha lock technique on these, and I'm just going to grab the first one. We'll do the alpha lock, and then I'm just going to grab the brush that I want to use in the eraser. I have a ton of textured ones. One of my favorite ones are these soft grain brushes. I think they have like a really cool effect when you scale them up, and because it's on alpha lock, you can kind of see on the corner as I go by, knocks out that edge pretty nicely. So that might be what I use, and then maybe scale it down just for a bit more control to really get rid of that super hard edge and sort of blend them together. And this, I think, will be a really interesting effect to do, and the pixelation that happens when I scale this to the appropriate size will just help with this effect a bit more. And let me pull up the Discord because someone posted something. Sorry, I just closed that window. Where is it? There it is. Boom. Yeah, so this is from a brush set that is called, let me see, which one is this? This is the Jing Soft brush set. So one of my friends actually recommended this one. I don't have a link to it. Oh, it's you ignore it? Nah, dude, it's cool. I can throw them in there. I can draw and multitask, I think. These are sick. I like these. Yeah, this is what this server should be for. Stuff like this is awesome. Character sketches, ideas. I love that, man. Keep at it. Keep adding. I want to see all that stuff. It's so rad. I think it'll be like a really fun place for people to really have a place to share their work that doesn't necessarily always need to be, you know, like on social media. Like I have a hard time sharing the works in progress sometimes because I'm like, oh, like it's not, you know, like a finished thing, or it's like, even if it's like is a finished thing, I'm always like, oh, I don't know if I want to share this. It's just nice to like, get feedback and like share work with people that are also creatives and not have to worry about feeding the social media machines, you know. It can be exhausting. Yeah, people steal my ideas all the time. I've been working for some big brands for quite a while, and there's just no level of I don't know the best way to even describe what I think. There's not like an honesty system, unfortunately. And it happens all the time where there's so much saturation in media surrounding everyone. They'll see something and subconsciously not even realize that they've seen it before. I've done this before, actually. And they just make something that's similar and they have no idea like what's going to happen. And yeah, it does suck at like the work in progress stuff. That does suck when you're making something and someone has more resources to do it faster. That always sucks. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's one thing that I actually, why I stopped my clothing brand in the beginning. I started getting like a lot of people biting my stuff, and I just realized that, you know, like if it's good enough for people to steal, it's good enough for me to get paid to do it for somebody else. And that's how I pretty much started the printing business. So there's a local thing. Hey, thanks for following, man. There's like a local clothing brand that did like a lot of streetwear. My old clothing brand, this is super embarrassing that I'm even sharing this with you guys, but it was called Daily Supply Company. It was definitely a hype kid brand, and I ran it for a couple of years, like around 2010 I started. Started picking up, and a lot of people really liked it. It fit with all the, you know, all like the hype kid shit back then, and everyone was starting a streetwear brand. I was a skateboarder, made like a streetwear lifestyle brand. It picked up a lot of momentum, luckily locally here in Boston and parts of New York, and then it just started getting ripped off. So before, like, I don't know what brands were out at that time, but they're all doing it now. Like all the tattoo flash styled art, like that's what I did on my shirts for a while. So I started posting all the flash paintings, and then a lot of other streetwear brands were starting to do similar things that had like tattoo artist friends, and that wasn't what I had a problem with. What I had a problem with was another brand that was just kind of doing the same thing by taking other people's art and graphics and basically hiring someone on Fiverr to like rip it off really badly. So I was pretty bummed when that started happening, and that's actually what made me stop doing my own clothing brand, just because I couldn't afford to keep up, and it like actually put me out of business. So I had a buyout offer from this company that would basically buy streetwear brands and stuff like that locally, and I didn't take it. But I wish I did, because I wasn't as attached. I'm still like, it's a fun thing to look back on, and the people that remember the brands that I know, they'll still like post pictures of stickers they see. I'm like, where is this? Like, this was years ago, like so long ago, like almost 10 years ago, and there's still people posting stickers and shit. I think the last round of stickers I did was maybe like 7 years ago. That's so wild. Yeah, I guess it's like a complicated issue. Like a lot of people are gonna rip stuff off or be inspired by something and not realize that they're doing that. And I know that sounds fake, like that's not a real thing that happens, but it does. When you work in a creative field long enough, you get so many sources. Yeah, dude, that was the time to run a company back then. It's like so much crazy shit happening. I had a ton of fun doing stuff for like shows and bands. Like you learn so much about what can go out and what can't go out. But yeah, like what I was saying before, it does happen where when you work in creative environments where you're constantly needing to follow a trend based thing, it can definitely like dilute your vision a bit of what you think is your own. And it's not like an intentional thing a lot of people do. It's just they're burned out and they're just trying to find something to fit, and they have this vision in their head of a amalgamation of like 500 things they've seen, and then it's like, oh, it feels original, and then all of a sudden it looks like 20 different things you've seen before, you know. And you might not notice it right away. All right, so we got the fire looking pretty good. I like the shading. I like that it's rough. It looks kind of weird. We're gonna draw some eyes now, and I'm just gonna turn off the yellow so I have like a reference. MySpace layouts, hell yeah. Yeah, I used to do a ton of different just like weird, random gig posters for bands I liked that didn't even have shows. I would just like make fake posters, and that's kind of how I got started. But yeah, it's just funny. All right, draw these eyes just real quick. So I'm just gonna draw one eye and then just copy it onto the next one, like the next spot. I warp that. No, I don't. It's not warping it. Let's rotate it just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's like a thing. A lot of people that got into any form of like creative art or really anything, everyone's been doing band shit and stuff for years. It's just what people do, you know. It's like fun to do. I do miss some of the stuff. I do miss like a lot of the like people you would meet at just different events because you're like the brand and people are in your shit. That's always fun. Exactly. Yeah, it's not a failure if you learn. You know what not to do next time. All right, these eyes look pretty cute. They're not too bad. All right, yeah, that's pretty fun. I like that. Let's add a little bit of highlighted shading on there. Let's see. Most of like the earlier projects I was a part of were massive failures just because it just happens when you're kind of starting out with something where you don't really know what's going to happen, but you never know. Clothing brands are a dime a dozen, so it does take a lot to really stand out in that kind of world. I think we're just going to keep the cute, really vectory looking eyes on this one. Crown emote, that's true. Adding it to the list. Do you need one of those? I think the skeleton hand ones are going to be really fun to do. They're just going to be like kind of weird ones, you know. Those will be interesting to see what people think of them. So the magnetics turned on, and that's what allows me to drag on like a straight line like that. It's essentially like the snap to grid in Illustrator. I have just this clipping mask. I'm going to try to do something with a rougher texture. Let's try this one. It's got like a little bit more harshness to it. Oh, that's not working. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's try that one. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like a spray paint halo as well. Maybe I'll do like one of my weird face cutouts that I'll eventually have to do, and I'll do like the halo one on there, kind of like the icon I have right now. So that might be something to do, I guess. It's an emote. Let me. I'll try a bunch. I mean, there's gonna be a ton of options, and I think for the fire there might be. There's something about it that just it's a little too sharp on the eyes. So let's try maybe adding like a clipping mask there on one of the eyes and just see how it looks really quick. Clipping mask. Fill the brush with black. Grab a noise brush. And this should be working. Oh, not a clipping mask, I'm sorry. That's a regular mask you need to do. So you do go up and do mask, grab your brush, and you can basically paint out background. But that's not working either. Oh, that's why. Oh, man. Okay, sorry, I was on the wrong layer. So let me merge the eyes. I'm happy with where they are. And then I'll try the clipping mask again. Or the, sorry, the mask. All right, so you always have to make sure your mask layer is above the right layer you want to edit. And I'm just breaking up these hard edges to see if this actually looks good or if it's going to look weird. We'll find out. But I feel like it's a little too harsh. I don't like how that looks either. You know what? I think we'll stick with the super sharp eyes. It's fine. Get rid of that layer. And then for the mouth, I don't know. Let's sketch some ideas out. Let's see. Let's do just sketch with a pencil and come up with an idea and see what we think. A weird nose. Nah, no nose. Yeah, like the one tooth. I think that's a good idea. It's kind of funny. It's a little cute, but it's still fun. Let's try a weird kind of wavy mouth like fire. Yeah, that's way better. Draw some teeth in there. Make it real uncomfortable looking. I don't know if you guys have been following my stuff and seen the Uggo stickers I used to draw. This is how all the mouths look. They have like weird teeth, different sizes. I think this is the move for sure. All right, yeah, that's the move right there. We'll keep that as a sketch, and I'm just gonna add a color on top of it, just so I can see that it's a sketch. All right, let's do it in blue because I can't see that at all. There we go. Merge those, and then new layer on top. So the resolution is pretty high. I have like a limited amount of layers I can use, but this isn't the worst. So I think this is a decent spot to start with. I'm using the Essentials brush pack. This is another one from Tattoo Supply. I believe is the name of the brand. They do a bunch of tattoo style brushes for tattoo artists, and this is just one of their many useful brushes they have. It's just a nice tight taper brush. You can make this with the technical pen brush, and you don't need to have a bunch of crazy brushes to do all this stuff. I just like the settings of this one, and I'm lazy. I didn't want to make my own, so it came with the pack. I was like, hell yeah, I'll use this. It's great. The resolution isn't very good though. That's one thing I will say. On some of their brushes, like compared to the ones next to them, the resolution quality varies, and that is the one thing that I dislike about a few of their brushes. Not all of them, but this one in particular, I notice it. And I'm also coming from working on a pretty much 100% vector base for all of my art. So that's also been like a big learning curve to switch up and go back to non-vector based imagery. It's super weird. I don't like it, but what are you gonna do? You gotta learn it. You gotta do it. All right, so there's that. There's the weird mouth, and we're sketching on the wrong layer. Uh-oh, I do this all the time. That's one thing I also dislike is that I don't have my layers window open right next to the image, so I'd make that mistake all the time. Not a big deal, not a big deal, but kind of annoying. That's one thing that does drive me crazy in Procreate comparatively to working in Photoshop or Illustrator. I always have my layers panel open, no matter what. I also have a screen protector on the iPad, so it does make all those weird papery noises. This is one by a company called Paperlike. It's the one everyone recommends, so I just went with it. And at first I hated it, but once I got used to it and it sort of started to wear in, I don't think I could work without it at this point. Just because I'm so used to having a like really responsive feedback and feel when I draw. So super helpful. And when you have just the plain glass, it slides a lot. And if you're not used to working on super smooth stuff all the time, it's not always the most fun. All right, there we go. So there's the weird mouth. Let's get rid of this sketch layer underneath. I'm gonna add the white underneath it, and then we'll merge them together. Just a little bit easier to work that way. I also always use an off-white when I'm drawing my stuff, just because I think pure white is a little too sharp and intense sometimes. But that's just a personal preference. So I'll go around and I'll make a shape that fits within the mouth underneath in a new layer. And then I'll fill it. I think this has been that's like the easiest method. There we go, got all the teeth. And it's just not exactly white, but it looks white on most backgrounds. And now the mouth and the eyes look a little too sharp in detail for me, so I'm going to add some other kind of sharp details and see if I can make it work for me and what I want it to kind of feel like. I've also considered making some brushes as well, so stuff that's really similar to things that I make traditionally, like a China marker brush on rough paper and one on smooth paper. Those might be something that I would try to do. Adding all these weird little melt details and seeing if they actually really help with the kind of getting rid of some of that sterile look. So this just says the taper in one direction on this brush, which I didn't realize before because I always just use it to draw solid shapes. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like both ends should taper. Yeah, those are fun. That's true. Tongue or no tongue. Maybe I'll do a second version with the tongue that's coming out, and that could be kind of fun. Having a second version. I'm drawing all these weird details on the mouth and the eyes now that I think they look pretty good. Also, the colors are way off on screen again. That's another issue that I have with the software I'm using, and the like the color accuracy. That's just a frustrating thing. Unfortunately, that's a part of streaming like this for now until I can actually find the proper setup to do so and get like a proper live stream setup. But we're getting there slowly. With your guys' help, it's definitely going to happen. I think the more people that start watching the videos and as the channel grows, it'll be a lot easier for me to make those sort of upgrades over time. Those don't look too good. Let's do just a few under the eye and above the eye. Yeah, those look a little bit better. All right, so this actually looks a lot like how my sketchbooks look when I draw with paint marker on top of random magazine clippings. And I haven't done that in a long time, actually. I used to do that in a lot of old sketchbooks where I'd find something and I would essentially make memes myself before memes were really as popular as they are. Not with the intention for them to be memes, but just like to laugh and make something funny for myself when I would go back in those sketchbooks. So I gotta find one of those. Actually, I think that'd be really fun to show you guys. All right, that's the first one. So that's version 1. I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna make a second version. So we'll make a group. I'm gonna keep all these together because these look great. And all you need to do that is highlight all the layers you want in the same group, pick group, and name it what you want. I keep hitting my keyboard, my regular keyboard. I keep forgetting I don't have it connected to my iPad. All right, we'll call that one Happy Flame. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to duplicate this one. We'll rename it. I keep doing it. Keep doing it. I need to get this keyboard set up so I can have my iPad as a secondary screen or something, so I can type on here. Once you start using a mechanical keyboard and you fall in love with it, you're never going to want to use a regular non-mechanical keyboard. It's like the weirdest feeling. Tongue out, flame. We'll have to name all these like different things down the road. I know it's a bad habit. I'm going to reach for that keyboard every time. Believe that. Okay, so we got the tongue. We're going to make a new layer. I wish the color accuracy was a little bit better on screen, because what I have here does not look like the colors that are being displayed. So that's one thing that bums me out a little bit about this live stream setup. I really wish the colors were as accurate as to what I'm using. So I got to figure that out. Maybe there's just some settings I can do as a tweak for now until I can get like an actual stream thing going. Well, let's sketch this out. We'll just sketch directly and see if we can make it work. We'll just do like a weird kind of tongue. Make it kind of pointy and gross. Yeah. Not quite. Always forget the inking brush that has the nice eraser in it. It's another set I got. This one here. Because of that nice sharp edge. Sometimes that's all you need. You're on level 2. Made it. I don't have a tier for that one yet, so I'm sorry. Once you make it to level 10, you're on in another tier. All right, tongue looks pretty good. I think it's like a fun, kind of funky and weird tongue drawing. Now, do I want to outline it in black? Yeah, I gotta outline it in black. It looks weird otherwise. Thanks for joining the stream. Sarah's like reading everything, trying to catch up. Yeah, welcome. We're doing emotes today, so we're drawing all of the like emoji type features that will be on my Discord server. So for people that are following on there, they can actually interact with these custom emotes we're making, and people are just throwing in suggestions. So we're just having fun with it. So feel free if you want to suggest some emoji drawings for the Discord server and Twitch. Feel free. How long have we been going for? An hour and 30 or an hour and 40? Not bad. So there's so many different like emote options that I can fill in. I'll put another survey or like a suggestion section on the Discord where people can have a discussion about it as they join. And there's links to join in the Discord if you're new in the description of the video. So there should be a link where it'll let you join. It's a 24-hour link, but the first month of Discord is open to the public and free for anyone that joins in the first month. So I think this weird sort of mashup of the soft textures and the heavy textures is a weird juxtaposition, but I kind of like it. It reminds me a lot of my earlier graffiti stuff as a kid. I mean, that's what a lot of it is just taking a surface and making it your own. So I think this is going to work for me. I'm into this one for sure. The tongue was a great suggestion. Okay, let's check it out. See if these highlights made it or broke it. No, yeah, those highlights are sick. Maybe too many of them, but those will work. Let's be a little bit more selective of which ones. Let's do like one. We'll do one here, one there. The more highlights you add, the more graffiti it feels immediately. As soon as you add those bright pop highlights. Oh yeah, that feels good. So we got the regular flame, and then we have this. So we got the tongue out flame. We got the regular pumped flame. Those are pretty good. It does feel like a Thrasher graphic right away when you have those harsh highlights. A lot of their earlier stuff was like that. A lot of old skateboard stuff has that kind of like drawn on already feel to it. So I'm pretty pumped on this. This is a good one. I guess the next one on the list would be Yawning. As I'm yawning. I don't know how I'm going to draw that one yet. Hell yeah, that's still fine. I think any creative endeavor you do, no matter what it is, will help you with that. And sculpting, drawing every day and then sculpting is a huge way to help improve both skills because they truly do go hand in hand. And as you sculpt things, you're going to just naturally become better at understanding how forms are supposed to look in the real world. And you'll probably be much better at drawing figure stuff and real life stuff than you ever thought possible once you start sculpting. I am by any means a master at either, but I see myself making massive improvements when I do that sort of stuff. All right, so we got Happy Flame, Tongue of Flame. The yawn is going to happen, but maybe not right now. I'm a little tired. We could do the alien or the dice. Let's do the alien, and we'll use the same 3/4 view. Maybe we'll do a front-on view. So this is just like a template, and I can just morph the features out and make them weird. Let's try another one of those brushes just as reference. All right, none of the brushes that I'm using are sponsors or anything like that. That has to be, I guess, sort of declared. But I do use these brushes, and I find them helpful for myself. They're just like little templates. So at this point, I've done a bit of both. I'm definitely more of a traditional graffiti writer than I am a street artist these days, but I used to do a lot of poster work as well, and I do miss it from time to time. All right, so we got this head template. Let's make it super alien. I'll warp it out a bit. Doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to do a tutorial on wheat pasting, but I think it's one of those things that every time I see a tutorial on it, it's kind of like hard to explain because it is such a simple process, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to film it in an interesting way. Not yet, at least. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat now. It is super messy. That's actually a reason why I don't do it now, because I absolutely hated just coming back covered in glue no matter what. I'm super messy as it is. I don't know. I don't know. It's always intense. All right. Okay, so we got this weird alien sort of head right here. We're gonna sketch with some blue on top of it with a pencil brush. And we'll figure out this alien. So right off the bat, we're getting rid of the nose. We're getting rid of the ears. We're going to keep this shape. I kind of like the idea of the shape staying kind of round. And then I'm just going to turn on the drawing assist really quickly on the layer. So go in here and then just do drawing assist, and that just creates the mirror image. Not too bad, looking pretty good. And the eyes will generally be here, but I think I want to do some like kind of crazy looking eyes. I have a skull drawing I did for that Nike thing a few months ago before the lockdown started, and I made these really weird kind of creepy eyes, and I kind of like these. So this is like drawn on some paper, but you see those eyes? Those are the eyes I'm thinking about doing for this. Yeah, I think those would just be the funnest one. We can draw some weird like pink colored vein things on there. Get all sorts of weird with it, you know. What was that, Discord? Hell yeah. All the stuff in the Discord stuff going up right now is sick. Absolutely amazing. All right. Sorry, I'm doing both at the same time. Welcome to the Discord. All right, let's see. Keep with this alien eyeball theme going. Not quite. Didn't quite get it. That's good enough. That looks good. Okay, so we got the weird aliens. Do some of those weird triangle sketches. The nose, we'll just keep the nostrils. We don't need to use this this face as like the main, reference. It's just a fast way to sort of get your proportions of what you're thinking out quickly. Eyebrows? Do aliens have eyebrows? I feel like they don't have eyebrows. I need a MUFON expert. Give them the weird head shape there. Aliens still get tired. They have under eye circles, right? Boom. All right, that's our alien. It looks a little sad. I guess it's because I didn't draw a mouth. Let me fix that. Nah, they need something like a weirder expression. They can't have just like a. All right, that's the alien. Oh, it looks weird. I like it though. It's fun. Okay, so we got the weird alien sketch going. These forehead dents look weird. I don't know. Let's figure something out. We'll do like a weird thing up here. Maybe we'll do the weird alien antennas. Yeah, we'll do these weird, gross alien antennas. I think these are funny looking. Nice. All right. Make this like a mechanical part of their head. Maybe show some of that brain. I don't know how much detail is going to show up in these, but we'll keep it going. I don't have a brain reference next to me. Shit. Where's Corpsey at? There he is. 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Had to grab Corpsey real quick. So this is a little reference piece that I use all the time. It's like one of those weird anatomical correct medical things that they have for kids, so they can learn about how the human body looks and works and all that. But it's got a little brain that pops up, so I can can reference it when I'm drawing. It works pretty good, actually. There we go. Start sketching the brain. Turn the drawing guides off on this so it doesn't look too symmetrical. So we'll turn the drawing assist off. This is always like a good thing to have around too. If you ever have something that you draw all the time, or is a common thing like this with anatomy, it's always good to have a small reference with you. So I have like the skull that I draw from all the time as reference. If you guys watched the last video, you know his name is Dusty, so that's a resource that I use pretty much every week at this point. Like on a weekly basis for drawing. I always have to draw skulls on something, so good to have. The Heaven's Gates aliens. Oh man. So are you a Last Podcast on the Left fan? Hell yeah. Yeah, it's a great show. I was supposed to see them also before the lockdown started. They were coming to Boston, and a friend of mine got us tickets, and we are so bummed that the show is postponed, but I'm excited to see them when we can. Picked up the book and stuff. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it if you're into their podcast. Marcus did an insane job on that thing. Yeah, I haven't. I need to re-listen to the old one because I feel like I tried listening to the old one, and something about it, like I had just read a bunch of articles about it before going into their podcast, and it like made me annoyed for some reason. I couldn't remember why. There's a few podcasts I'll listen to, like they're definitely one of my favorites. And then like I used to listen to My Favorite Murder a lot, but I just get really annoyed sometimes with the level of I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's like them being Valley Girls, like they make jokes about it all the time about being really privileged and stuff, but sometimes they'll say stuff where I'm like, man, you guys really don't know how the world works. But yeah, their podcast is pretty good too. Like I actually really like theirs a lot. I think it's fun. It's like a lighter version of some last podcast stuff. Some of the top, like most of the topics are obviously the same, but it is fascinating. They did some really good Boston episodes, which I really appreciated about crimes and stuff I didn't know. Huge true crime fan, so. Anything spooky. That's what my podcast is going to be about, is like weird spooky stuff, but haven't done it yet. Working out all the logistics still. I will wash my hands. Thank you. That's a good reminder. I should start every stream. I got to let people know. Stay safe, stay clean. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I think that's the big deciding factor for me too when it comes to a podcast. If it's well researched and I like the personalities, and that's something I have with last podcast for sure. I always love everyone's, um, just how they feel about most things. We have a lot of fairly similar opinions about the world, so I think that's why I really like it a lot. And Marcus has phenomenal taste in music, so that's another reason I'm a huge fan of just Marcus. He's like my favorite one for sure. And then Ben's great. Henry's really funny. Um, and I like his take on like magical thinking and that whole sort of realm of the world where a lot of people are ignorant to the subject. And he has like a bias, obviously, but it's like in a fun way. So I enjoy it. It's definitely like a more interesting way to go about it. Sorry, one of my neighbors is leaving, slams the door all the time. Man, stuff is going down on the Discord. I gotta go check it out in a minute. 6 notifications, damn. Saw a few things on there popping up in the corner of my eye. So I'm trying my hardest now. Dude can't read. uh, yeah, I'm trying my hardest now to actually stop making really sort of stagnant looking images when it comes to weird digital art. I think that's something I'm super guilty of just from working in Illustrator for so long, where everything needs to be a perfect symmetrical vector and shape, and if it's asymmetrical, it looks weird to me. And I'm finally getting over that as a mindset, but it's definitely taking me some time. Still getting used to it, I guess. All right. Let's see. All right, got that. What color should this alien be? I guess the green is like the standard go-to. Do like the bright green and the bright pink for the brand. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, doing the drawing assist again. And this is just to kind of get the shape the way that I want it to look. Fill this with the green. Trying to sketch off and just see how the shape's actually looking. It doesn't look too bad. There's like a bit of a weird dip here, so we'll bring the head up a bit more. Just gonna fill these in. And now that I'm thinking back about the eyes really quick, I think the eyes might actually need to change because the standard known image of the alien has a very distinct eyeball that people might recognize. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks with my own interpretation. All right. I'm just going to move this layer underneath. I'll turn the sketch back on. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's pretty sick. Spread the head up a little bit, but pretty happy with that. Do the eyes really fast on a new layer. We'll keep it simple. We'll just start with a, I think we'll start with like a weird all white and then see if that looks weird or not. All right, that doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna turn the opacity down on the sketch. It's just looking a little, a little too intense right now. A little hard to see what I'm drawing. Here we go. So there's actually another tool I could use that I just thought of, and it'll show you guys some of the other things you can do in Procreate that are really useful. So you can actually use a drawing guide in the canvas settings. So if you go into Edit Drawing Guide, you can make a symmetry one, go to Options, do Radial, and then you'll actually have a full radial radial guide. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what we'll go with. We'll make that one go bright red or something so we can see it. And then that'll actually give you the option to take an object like this, and you can draw like radial shapes. So you see how that follows up to the center. So we'll actually just redraw the eye there, and that will kind of determine a few things. That kind of looks cool actually, if I did it on the inside. So it's a like fun little technique, and then you can just go in and clean up the spots that might need it. And you go back on the drawing guides, and then you can turn that off. So you go back into the drawing guides, edit drawing guides. We're going to go back to symmetry. We'll do vertically, and we'll turn off radial symmetry, and we'll keep assist to draw on, hit done, and then we can actually grab this object, copy it, put it on your layer because I forgot to do it on a separate layer. Did the wrong one, of course. All right, so I'm going to grab this layer right here that's got the weird swirl going on in there, and just grab the uniform selection for the magnets, and then turn the magnetics off and try to scale it to fit within there. Looks pretty good, and we'll just merge them together. Go off the sketch, and that's like the weird radial eyeball. So that's how I would do that. Looks pretty good. And I think the all white eye still looks kind of weird now that I'm actually taking the time to think about how it's going to affect the overall sketch. So we're going to stick with the classic all big eyeball, I think, for this one, just because it looks a little weird otherwise. I don't know. Something about it just isn't reading right. Maybe if there's a black outline around the white, it'll be easier to read, but right now it just doesn't look very good. All right, not bad, not bad. Okay. All right. So for the aliens, I typically use like a bright yellow for like highlights and whatnot. Let's see what else we can do. Still looks a little off. Let's see. So why don't I just do the brain really quick? Let's fix that one here. All right. Line this up real quick. I'm going to finish this one, and I think I'm going to call it for tonight. It'll probably take me like another 20 minutes. So just as a little heads up, try to do a bit more of a warning instead of having like a abruptly ended stream like I've been doing without the intention to do so. I just realized how long I've been doing it for. So yeah, I'm just going to work on shit, I did symmetry turned on. My bad. You're lost in the brain matter on this one. Sorry, I just got like hyper focused and just didn't talk for who knows how long. Sorry about that. Okay, just finish up the brain. And if you guys think of any more emotes after the stream, I'm going to post in the general topic of the Discord server, and everyone can kind of post their suggestions for all like the emotes. And I'll probably do a few streams this week where I'm pulling from those references, and the ones we did tonight, I'll try to do as much of that stuff on stream as possible. And then before I upload, I'll probably make a regular just YouTube video about that process if anyone else is curious on how to do that for their own personal servers if they have them. And I'll just obviously I'll link those people to these videos if they want to check them out in the future. So for future viewers, this is the first emote drawing video I did. The brain's looking fun though. I like that it's not super uniform. Nachos are important. They're more important than my stream, so you keep making nachos, dude. It's a Wolf Pit standard from now on as well. If you're gonna make food, you can only have nachos, tacos, burritos. I guess will count. I guess pizza will count. Keep it pretty strict here for outside food. All right, almost done with this brain. Now I'm just making up lines. That'll happen sometimes where I'll start drawing and I'm like, I'm not following this guideline at all. I don't like this anymore. And I'll just change it completely. I'll fill certain areas in with like darker blacks and stuff. I also have to check out the Discord server after this. I'll pull up in the window and then probably do that off stream and try to catch up with all the conversation. But glad you guys are using it. It's awesome to see all the communication going on in there. I broke my own rule. What did I break my own rule about? Oh, the food? The no outside food? Oh, sandwiches from a pizza place. Gotcha. Well, I guess I'll have to reinvent the rules then. All right, fuck it. We're starting over. We're starting over. No food rules or restrictions at this time on the Wolf Pits channel. Just favorites, like not just take precedent. All right. So instead of making this a traditional gray, we're going with a traditional green, and that's just that. So that's what the island's going to look like. I would normally add a lot of detail into this if I was going to be making it for a larger image, but because it's going to be so tiny, I don't think it's going to do it any favors if I really tweak it out and add like little, you know, cross hatching and things like that. I don't think it's going to actually help the drawing. I think that detail will just get lost. So we're going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to do a slightly larger outline stroke around just the brain to emphasize the shape. And then when I draw the rest of the head, I'll probably do the same and match it up. But just to give it a little bit more consistency, to have that outer stroke line a little bit thicker and give it a bit more depth. So we're going to stick with a pretty bold line rule for some of these, just because I don't think they're going to thrive any other way. All right, that's that. Do a new layer for the pink. And we'll pick a really bright, obnoxious pink. Man, this green looks so off compared to the green I'm using. I really wish I could figure out what's wrong with the color situation on this. This is absurd how different these look. I can't even believe that. All right, there's the pink in the brain. I guess one of the things I could do is I could use one of like the weird like shading brushes from one of the brush kits that I have. So if I were to do that, I would probably do one of these weird like half-tony brushes. Probably do like the lino brush or something. But I want it to be somewhat legible. So these are like litho printing type dots. I could just do like little highlights or something with those. Yeah, they print pretty big actually. So let's pick a different brush. So that's actually not looking super good. So the resolution on some brushes is a little different, so it's something to keep in mind when using certain brushes that don't have scaling attached to the brush, and some of these do not. Because they're kind of large and they're meant for other applications of illustrations, so we're just gonna let that be. And this is the stipple brush like I used in some of the past live streams, but it's a cluster of them, so it's a little closer together. And the pixelation, when this gets scaled down, will just emphasize the effect in a way that I think will be more positive than the other brush I was just using. Yeah, so those are actually brushes that give like a halftone effect, but I'm actually going to use this stipple shading one just because I don't think the details can capture well, and those don't scale. Some of the brushes are scalable and some are not, and those just happen not to be scalable because they're at a specific print resolution. It just comes down to some like the weird features they have specifically in Procreate compared to Photoshop and Illustrator. So the brushes don't scale. Not all brushes scale. Some do, some don't. And this one scales really well. It's all about the path on how they're used. So the other ones are actually from a solid image, and that's why they're the same size. And they only reveal a certain amount behind it, and you're supposed to use them with a specific canvas size. But yeah, they make like a halftone effect. So like I can do a whole thing on halftones actually. I can try to do a video about that. I'll try to make a graphic that requires like a halftone print, or maybe if I do like a T-shirt or something, again, I can show you guys the process of making halftones for printers and whatnot, because I'm not going to be screen printing anytime soon. Would love to, but I just don't have the space right now. All right, so those are the brain highlights, and I guess I'll do one slightly darker. We'll do like a dark purple. Yeah, let's go to the color harmony here and find something that's got like a nice shadow to it. Use this dark blue, actually, it's kind of cool. No, it's not. I lied. There we go. Yeah, that one's cool. I don't even know how much of this is going to show up. I just got excited about about shading this a little bit more, giving it a little bit more detail. I think it's actually something to do with Streamlabs and the software I'm using to capture it directly from my iPad. It's called Air Server. So I think there's some compression that's going on to kind of upload the video. I have it set to 1080p output, but I don't believe it's actually doing it at that for the screen. It does look pretty good, but I think there's a lot of compression, so I'm going to have to try and figure out what's going on with that. I'll have to dive deep and call their customer service tomorrow and see if they can tell me what's up, because it is a paid-for app, so I had to finally buy a license in it, and it was not the cheapest thing in the world, but like I plan to use it, and my free trial was running out. It's the only thing that I found that works at the moment to stream Procreate, and it seems like the best option for the time being. So that's what some of the donation money went towards as well, was paying for that. But I will figure out a way to make the color better, even if I need to adjust them on the screen somehow. If there's a way for me to do that, I'll figure that out. There's got to be something going on. I don't know if in Streamlabs you can adjust the color profiles or anything. All right. 6. So the brain's got a decent amount of detail in there now. I'm not sure how much of it's going to show up, or if any, but if it does, it'll be a nice touch. I appreciate it later on. All right. There's the brain. We got the weird eyeballs. Let's do like the weird inking on top for the rest of the face. Try the sketch back on, and then I think after that I'm going to call it for tonight, and then I'll be back tomorrow. Probably doing another one, so if you guys really like this one. I'm having fun doing it though, so we can come up with a bunch of fun emotes together. Nope. Probably help have the drawing assist on the right layer. A little bit better. Not 100% perfect yet, but getting there, getting close. Alright, I thought these weird antennas would look cool, but I'm still not 100% now. Now I was pretty sure I would like them, but now I'm not sure if I do. So just give them a go and see. Yeah, no, I don't like those. Not a fan. We're gonna just let those be. Not feeling those eyes still. I don't know what it is. Maybe the sketch on there is throwing me off. Yeah, something about it. There's just maybe they're not big enough. Let's get rid of the white too. Let's see if they just look fine with the all black. Something about it just looked weird to me, and I think it's just the overall eyes just look a little janky in a bad way. Yeah, not too good. Yeah, eyes definitely need to be bigger. I think the green color is fun with the pink brain, but I'm gonna hold off on doing like a traditional gray because we want the positive positive aliens on here. That looks weird too. All right, so I thought the eyes were gonna be cool. I'm kind of over the eyes. I think I'm gonna just make them a very traditional eyeball at this point. So let's just use those as a guide of what not to do. Yeah, those just don't work for me. All right, we'll do the weird almond teardrop eyeball thing I was depicted having. All right. Yeah, that looks more alien-like. Let's get rid of the other one in a second. Just duplicate this for reference. The brain still looks cool. All right, so I think that's going to be pretty much it for tonight. We're going to do some more videos tomorrow, I think. I got to film a lot tomorrow. Hopefully the desktop officially makes it here and I'm not just stuck with the legs of my new desk. So that's the plan for tomorrow. I'm going to figure out why it's still not here. But that's the alien. I'm pretty happy with that. It was pretty fun to draw. I think I'll add some other light details real quick, and then that might be it for this one. And if you guys have any suggestions, I'm going to put up in the Discord server after this in the general chat, and you'll be able to put everything up in there. I think it'll be like a fun way for you guys to interact and kind of come up with some of the emotes for the early on users. All right, let's just do like a little, yeah, that'll be good. A couple little like bright highlights on here in the weird textures. I think that'll actually be like kind of a cool thing to throw in. Really emphasize some of the shape on this thing. Or I'll do this below the this layer here. Above it. All right, that looks pretty good. I think that's going to do it for this one. I was going to add some more like really heavy texture, but I just don't really think it needs it. I think it's kind of fun as it is. There's maybe some stuff I can mess with after, but I keep getting hung up on the idea of making more detail, but I know it doesn't really matter. It's probably not going to show up. If anything, I'll do some weird like splattery things or more black lines around the brain. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. And you guys will actually be able to see the appropriate colors for this stuff once I have time to upload them all and get them finalized in Photoshop. I'll probably just do a video after I've drawn a bunch of them, and I'll start slowly uploading them into the actual on the actual Discord server. And I'm about to go there right now. I'm just going to post in the general chat where you guys can actually put in suggestions for all the different things that you want to see for emotes for this. And yeah, let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. It's gonna do it for tonight's stream. If I can find my mouse.